man don't know shit.
I might not know shit, but I know enough. I might not know shit, but I know enough. You might call me dumb, but I have a lot of fun. I might not know shit, but I know enough.
Episode 35, the Great White North episode. As you can tell, it's snowing a ton just outside my house right now. There's shovels in the background. Yeah, there's a couple of shovels there. They're going to get used a whole ton tomorrow morning. Get your workout in, Canadian style. I got Mr. Finny McConnell of the mighty Mahones on this episode, and I'm really looking forward to this. We've crossed paths lots of times. We're aware of who each other was, but we never really talked much before. In Montreal, there was a Montreal Calling show. It was a tribute to the album London Calling, and we both played on it and hung out till the wee hours of the morning that night or morning, and got to know each other and had a really, really good vibe. And we messaged each other this week and said, let's do this, let's hang out. So yeah, well, before we start, don't forget there's a PayPal link underneath this video, and that's for the Be a Producer program. That's how we keep this show running, buying little gears and stuff that we need to do it. It's all DIY family style. So any tip, whether it's 25 cents, 50 cents, $1 or more, you become the producer of the next episode and credited for it. So don't forget to hit subscribe and all that jazz, and let's do this. All right, here we go.
There I am. Hey, bro.
How you doing, man?
Awesome. It's my kid, Kevin. Wave, Kevin, say hello. This is my son.
Hey, Kevin, how you doing? I see all your pictures all over the world.
Ever in my life. Thanks, Kev. Love you.
Yeah, man. So where are you at?
I'm at my home office studio. Got my new album here in my hand. 30 years of Irish punk.
Some fresh vinyl. Nice.
Yeah, we made it 30 years. Outlasted fucking the Ramones even.
That's wild when you think of it.
Outlasted the fucking Pistols. Everybody. 30 fucking years, brother. Ahead of Dropkick Murphys, ahead of Flogging Molly. They're way behind me.
That's crazy. Like, it's funny. I was looking at the list of your albums and stuff today. And when did you start? I mean, like you say, you've been around 30 fucking years, man. That's a hell of a long time.
Well, I started the Mahones in St. Patrick's Day, 1990, for one gig. And it went over so well. My friend Barry Williams owned an Irish pub in Kingston called the Toucan. You probably know it. Best Irish pub in the city. Well, he owned it. He built it. And he's from Dublin like me, and he's good friends with my dad, and he used to play my dad's bar Muldoons and his bands on drums. So when I became of age and started playing music, I started playing music at 18. Even when I was under the age to play in bars, I started playing music at 18, illegally in a band called The Filters with Gord, Downie, my dad's Irish pub. But anyways, back to this. So I started this band, and 1991 show, phone kept on ringing. Fucking here I am 30 years later.
It's fucking wild, man. The journeys that all my friends have, it's incredible. It blows my mind all the time.
It was never planned. Never planned. No, it's just I'm Irish. Even though I like to drink rum now, I drink whiskey still. But I have cheers, bro. But this is kind of rough. Oh, you guys, I got the rum. This is whiskey for older guys like me. I don't black out in this stuff.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, whiskey. You know how they always say, like, I don't have a lot of regrets in life. But when I do, whiskey's usually involed. Yeah, but I'm going to join you with the rum, though. I see I got some Appleton here from Jamaica.
Any fight I've ever been in, whiskey was involved.
Well, that's it. I wonder what that is. It's a real thing.
You can't feel the punches. You can't feel the punches. That's what it is. Trust me. You can't feel the. So just be careful on that stuff, folks.
That's right. Be careful out there.
Careful out there. Hey, brother. K-Man in the house.
Fuck yeah, man. I'm really happy to sit down with you. And it's really cool. I mean, you already mentioned that it's been 30 years. And like I was saying, I was looking through the list of your albums and stuff. I mean, it's incredible. You've been a busy man.
I made 10 albums in the last 10 years. I think I kicked everybody's ass. And one of them was a double concept album.
That's wild, man.
I kicked everybody's ass. My brain goes too fast. I'm working on 14 albums right now as we speak. 14 albums.
That's crazy.
Not all for me, obviously. But I'm classically trained, and I'm used to working in large projects and doing all kinds of things. And so I don't even make notes anymore when I make records. I stopped making demos. in 2000 because the first 4 albums I made, the demos are better than the fucking albums, and that pissed me off. So I stopped making demos. And
isn't that always the thing when people start chasing the demo?
Yeah, well, I'm doing it now. I'm resurrecting the first 4 albums for Super Deluxe reissues with all the tracks. Dragging the Days, our big hit album, our first one. I have a 37-track album version of that people haven't heard. Oh, it's all good. Oh my God. I went through them all. They're all like 40 tracks each, 30, 40 tracks each. I did Rise Again. This is what I'm doing in lockdown. I'm working on my vaults. So I did Dragging the Days, Rise Again, Hellfire Club Sessions, and Here Comes Lucky. And I talked with the early members of the band, Gerald Sullivan, Andrew Brown, Owen Warnica, who made those records with me. And we made an agreement. We're going to like have a little reunion and put them all together. Like, I don't know if we'll ever do a gig or anything like that, but we're going to get together and sign a contract so I can release all the songs, all their songs, everything. So everybody's going to get to hear all the magic we made in the 90s, because it was a magical time for us.
Well, I'm sure. And what's the feeling like looking back like this? You open the vaults.
I couldn't believe how good it was. I couldn't believe how I was throwing out songs that were brilliant, and I thought they were shite. I was like, fuck, we must have had high fucking standards. We must have been a bunch of little assholes. Difficult. There's no bad stuff in there. Put it that way. There was nothing.
That's wild, eh?
Yeah, and I did Lucky because it's Lucky's 20th anniversary, so I just did that. We won a lot of awards for that album, and I went through the 20 demo tracks I did, and they're all amazing. And the fucking demos are better than the fucking album. I was like, oh. It sounds like the Waterman's Fisherman's Blues, because I produced it, I mixed it, and it all has one sound. Whereas when they take it to the studio and you get the producers and those guys in every song, they try and put all the rock balls into it, and they give it the LA mix and all that fucking shit that you don't like. Yeah,
with those weird sounding snare drums.
It's out of your hands. So no albums have ever released from my hands since those days. After Take Those Prisoners, I mixed them all myself.
Yeah. Once the
first 4 the business, there was managers, record companies, band partners, a lot of stuff. So I was not in control, and I was not happy with the mixes of those first 4 albums. Even though they were very huge albums for us, I hated the mixes. So I'm going to release alternative mixes, the full albums, original full albums, well, all the tracks, alternative mix albums that I did that I think are better, and then the demos. So you're going to get the fucking, it's going to be like Christmas for the early Mahones fans.
Are you going to master it as well, or have somebody else master it?
Yeah. Fuck yeah, I do everything. I do it with I do it with Gene Hughes in Toronto. I did some work with Renee in Montreal.
Oh, right on.
Me and Renee did some work. He did some mastering for me over the years, and we did Lucky together. No, Angels and Devils together in Montreal. That was fantastic. I played with a lot of Montreal musicians. The great Jonathan Mormon. Who else? Fuck. On top of my head, the great flute player from fucking Hurley's. Dave Gossage, the legend.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sean Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Renee Delamorte. The Colin the Dead played bass on the track. Sean Winter. So yeah, I made a Montreal album, which is fantastic. I love that. That's one of my favorite albums. And I remember he made that one. He goes, "Where's your notes, Finny?" And they're all in my head.
Better not knock your head tonight, right?
You got it after a while. Because when you play,
Renee's fun to work with, though.
Irish music sounds like it's going in circles, right? People don't get it unless you're Irish. It sounds like you're going spinning in a circle.
That's wild, but I mean that's a good thing. I mean, I remember this Jamaican Rasta friend of mine, Owen, who plays with my dad's band, and he's always telling me, even if it's a slow song, it has to feel like it's rolling forward, you know, and that's a very real thing.
Once you lose the momentum, songs drops, unless you keep the drums going.
Right, exactly.
the people love that shit, especially the dancers,
and we love the dancers, so it works out well.
Girls love drums. So we always girls, right? That's why we join bands, to meet girls. We all
often, that's it.
People in the world are the girls, not us guys.
My buddy Stu, right? My brother. Of
course.
And Stu and I, when we started playing music, I can tell you exactly how we started. It's really funny. He came over to my house with just a snare drum and had this no-name guitar plugged into a Gibson amp that was this big. And he comes up to me, if we could learn 8 songs, we could go play at the all-girls college in Rigo. And that's why we got into music.
Really?
Yep.
Really? Wow. I made a big mistake when I was a kid. My mom took me to Irish dancing class. It was all girls and me. And I was like, I don't want to do Irish dancing, Mom. I promise I'll play an instrument. So I learned to play. I told her at the time I learned to play banjo, but I learned guitar instead. And looking back at that, I was like, what a stupid guy. I was in a class with 30 girls and I didn't want to be there. I was very young at the time. I think I was 8 or something.
Well, that's it.
Back at that now, I was like, what was I think?
Was there a lot of music in your family at home?
Dancing with 30 ladies. Well, whatever.
Was it a very musical family at home when you were young?
Yeah, mom was a dancer. My mom was an Irish dancer. That's why the dancing connection. She was a concert promoter for Cultus in Ireland. My dad was a singer, actor. My sister Dipna is a singer, actor. And my oldest sister, Ita, runs the university. She works in the university. She runs the foreign student department.
Oh, wow.
So she's a big time person in the university scene. So she didn't do anything. She's the only one who didn't do it. So we were like music actors, dancers, and musicians.
And this is in Ireland, right?
No, this is here in Canada. My family
in Canada. Okay. Were you born in Canada or in Ireland?
Dublin.
Dublin. Okay.
At the Rotunda on O'Connell Street, right fucking downtown, man.
It's one of my dreams. Listen, my family name is Nick.
I'm one of those ones that confuses everybody because I was raised here. So I'm kind of like that kid lost in the ether. No, but I'm not accepted as a Canadian and I'm not accepted as an Irishman.
Yeah. You're somebody that can answer something for me.
I kind of don't have a home. I
feel that.
I have both passwords, so fuck you.
I've been kicked out of enough homes myself.
Yeah. I want to live in Europe again. I want to buy a home in Europe, but I'm going to keep my place in Toronto. But I can't afford to buy a home here anymore. So when I get back to work, finally, I haven't worked in a year, right? So when I get back to work, finally, my goal will to be like maybe to live in maybe Europe, get a home in the country because they're a couple $100,000 over there, bro.
That's it.
I know, right? They're like $1.5 million here in Toronto. So I'm screwed. So
that's what I just did, right? Like a couple of months ago.
So I can live there, So 80% of my work is in Europe, so I'll live there, get a home there, and I'll keep my Toronto home too because I'm Canadian and my son lives here, and so I'll just fly back and forth like the regular.
Absolutely, it ain't no thing.
Like I do anyway. That's my goal in life. That's my bucket list.
That's a great goal to have. I'm a big fan. Like I moved out of Montreal and I bought just like that, a small little home out by a lake, I'm always in bars anyway. But
yeah, my city days are done. Every day someone gets stabbed or shot in Toronto. I'm good.
Yeah, man.
I've had so many fights and trouble here with crazy people that I don't need the danger anymore. I'm fine. I've had enough.
I feel you there, man.
30 years in the Mahones and 10 years in punk bands before that. So,
Well, that's it, eh?
Right. So I've 40 years. I want to slow down now. I want to just do the big shows. And I got a solo record contract. Shit. Did I tell you?
No.
Yeah, I just got it. It's True North Records is going to put out my solo album because I had a successful solo deal. So they asked me to do a solo album and they're going to pay for it. So, I signed the deal to do the album and I'm going to start making it next week.
Amazing.
I got Glenn Milcham on the drums from Blue Rodeo.
That's freaking awesome, man. And congrats.
Candies and change it. Yeah. Everybody liked my solo thing. So I'm going to do, I'll do the festivals at the Mahones this summer. And then the album will come out in September on True North Records. And I'm going to do a solo tour this fall. And I'll bring the Mahones back again, probably next year for Paddy's Day. But I'm going to keep the Mahones. 30 years is enough. I'm just going to do the good gigs now. All the other guys can do the punk clubs. Fuck, they can have it. You can have the shitty toilets full of piss and crap. I've been there, done it. I just paid my dues. I said, I'm 30 years. I did 8 years longer than the fucking Ramones. Nobody can say I didn't pay my dues.
That's it, man.
I do the nice gigs now, and the punk gigs, the other bands can have them. I loved them. They were great, but I want to kind of semi-retire, but get more acoustic. And go do I'm going to do some film work. I'm involved in a few films and a few soundtracks for film and stuff like that. So I want to get more into that kind of thing.
Well, you already have a connection with the film thing a bit because you had a few songs that were in movies, right?
I'm in like 6 or 7 movies. I'm in The Fighter, 2 Oscars, 2 Golden Globes. I'm in Ecstasy, was Train Spotting, the next movie, Ecstasy. Irving Welsh, I got my song there twice. I'm in the Kids in the Hall, $100 movie. I'm in Dan Aykroyd, Damon Wayans' Celtic Pride. I wrote the title track. I'm in Streets of New York is in that new movie with the guy from Montreal about the Celtics football club. Guy, your famous Montreal actor, John Jamarchi or whatever, or his name.
Oh, I don't know, man.
Famous actor from Montreal, your age. He's famous. Most famous guy.
If he's not at the bar fly at 3 a.m, I don't know.
He lives in LA. You see him in all those movies with Seth Rogen and all those guys, all the famous stars.
Shit, okay.
Yeah, what's his name? The Montreal actor. You're from Montreal.
I don't know. Dude. I'm terrible with names.
Anyway, he did a movie about the Celtics football club, and I'm in that movie. Streets of New York. I've been tons of movies and tons of TV shows, a lot of sci-fi shows, you know, Killjoys and all those shows. I wrote a song for that. I'm in the first episode. I acted in that. I don't tell people about what I do. I acted in a movie where I play an IRA Irish musician. He was blown up in the pub. Me and Michael. I don't
awesome.
I don't brag about that stuff, but yeah, I'm gonna write a couple books. I got a book deal too. People want me to write some books. So I'm gonna write a book about that. All the stuff I did for the Mahones. I'm gonna write a book about how to make it in the music industry without the music industry's help, because I figured it out a long time ago. And I've never had a hit single in my life, right? You know, I did it without the industry worldwide too. And I'm gonna.
We all know that TV and movies.
To tell you the story though. I'm not gonna tell it on your interview. I'm gonna tell it.
Yeah, man.
But it'll be easy read. I'm gonna tell you how to make it and how to get worldwide and how to tour the world like I do. I'm just gonna explain it to the young bands because it's a very simple step-by-step process that I put together myself without the help of anybody in the industry. And I don't like to manage bands because I don't want to deal with people's personalities. Right.
Mm-hmm. I can understand that.
I could help a few bands over and the singers goes crazy. And then I'm like, oh, okay, I'm out. It lasted about a month each time. I can't do that job. You know, I can't deal with people's personalities. I'm very private. So I'll write a book and then I'm going to work on my booking agency, Whiskey Devil Tour Booking, and my label, Whiskey Devil Records. I'm going to put out help some bands get going, new bands. You know, it's my duty to help with the new bands because bands helped me when I was starting. You know,
that's it.
I got the hand reached out for me from Shane McGowan and Crash Vegas and the Sky Diggers and bands in my early days, Blue Rodeo, that helped me get going. So I return the favor. I'll do that, and then I'll write a book about the UK Subs tour because that's fucking a punk rock story. I hear 2 weeks in the UK Subs. I do.
Well, that's it. You play guitar.
I have a live album and everything live in fucking. I have a live video of Quebec City show and a live album from Toronto. So we'll get the permission for Charlie to put those out one day. They're fucking phenomenal. Oh,
I'm sure.
The best recordings I ever made. And then what else do I have? Oh yeah,
wasn't that with Jamie on drums? Jamie was on drums on that?
That's how Jamie got into Mahones. I met him. First time I played in Ireland was in 2010. I never wanted to play Ireland in Mahones because I thought they wouldn't like me. So I got UK Subs called me up and asked me to open up for them in Ireland. And I was like, well, I love the UK Subs, and this would be a good way to go to Ireland. And if they don't like me, at least it's not my fault. The UK Subs will be there to pay the show. I was wrong. They fucking loved us. And I've been touring there every year since. I had no idea. They just fucking loved the Mahones in Ireland. We fucking selling it out all the time. Next tour, I had the Defects opening for me from Belfast. Opening for me. I'm like, what? So, they loved us. In Ireland, we shot through really fast. And so that was really good. So I'm going to do because of that UK Subs tour, 2016, the UK Subs, Jet left the band and they got a new guitarist, Steve Strawn, and he couldn't make the Canadian tour. So they phoned me up and Finny, we got an emergency. Steve can't make the tour. We don't want to cancel it. Can you play guitar? And I had to learn like 30 fucking songs. I didn't know their songs. I was like, yes, I'll do it. I just didn't even think about it. You know, sometimes in life you should just say yes without thinking about it. I knew that was a moment. I knew that was one of those moments. So I just said yes. And then I had to learn all the songs, which I did. They're all in the key of B, not funny enough. Because I always play in G and D, people's chords, and they love key of B, which is cool because that's really rock and roll chord to play in, So they had a lot of songs in B. But anyways, I did the tour. It was so fucking hilarious. I just loved every part of it, And then I'm gonna write a little book about it because it was such a good story. It's like a 2-week story. And then the first book I do is about the Filters with me and Gord. That was another 2-week story. I started the first kind of like it was a garage rock, pub rock band in '83 that became the Hip. I never told the story for 38 years because I didn't want to step on the Hip's toes and I don't want to ride on their coattails. I wanted to make it on my own, which I did. Which I did. If you see the reviews of the new album, everybody's like, this is the best album ever. So I'm good now. I did my job.
Yeah, man.
So I'm going to tell the story finally about me and Gord Downie. I'm going to do a Hip documentary and tell the story and things like that. But I'm going to, work.
I saw a couple of pictures of that, of you and him playing together.
I'm going to work with the Downie brothers and do it, and tell the story through those guys. So it's done properly and respectfully,
Mm-hmm.
Gord is very special, and I don't want anybody to exploit him. And I'm not
that makes total sense.
I'm just going to tell the true story of what we did. And we didn't even get along that well. We were like, he left the Stones, I left the Who. We were at Loggerheads for a year, and we made the most powerful, explosive R&B you're ever going to hear. Oh my God, it's going to blow your mind.
I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, it's like Dr. Feelgood meets the Destroyers. It was barroom rock. Route 66, Surround and Round. that kind of stuff, you know, and all 12 bar rock. And the reason we did that was because I wanted to go to Europe for the summer. We just finished high school. He was in the Slinks, him and Andy Frontini. I was in Pressure Drop, which played the Clash and the Pistols and Ramones with my drummer Seppi, and a guy named John Bowen from Kingston, from the Brias. And that band, I couldn't get into my dad's bar because we were a punk band. So my dad said, "You put together a rock band, I'll give you a gig." And so he gave me a 14-date contract, which would make me enough money to go to Europe for the summer. So I asked Gord, Downie, and Andrew Frontini from the Slinks to join me and Seppi to form this band just for 2 weeks only, to do this contract. And we did it, and I got it all on tape and everything. It was fantastic. I mean, I did a studio recording, 40 songs. Oh my God, it'll blow your mind.
What a piece of Canadian history that is. Really? Like, that's history.
I've been hiding it for 38 years. I've been hiding it for 38 years. The 40th anniversary is coming up in 2 years. So before I move to Europe, I'll make sure I give it to the Downie brothers to make a story out of it and tell the story properly. So I don't want any stupid people getting in on it. I just want to make sure it's done right and respectful to Gord. Because
that's beautiful.
The music is beautiful, and I've never told anybody about it, and I never played it to anybody. And it's time to play it soon, you know.
Yeah, for sure. You get to that point. Hey, I got a question, a little left field.
They're doing stuff right now to hip, so I'm going to stay out of their way as I always did. You know,
yeah, for sure.
The time's not right.
Time's not right. Hey, here's my question for you. Okay, my last name is McNulty. It's MCN.
Yeah.
Okay, now I didn't know my biological father or anything like that, you know, so I'm not sure my roots.
Are you
okay, what's the difference between Mick and Mac? Finally, somebody needs to tell me.
Are you adopted?
No, I'm not adopted, just a funny family.
Oh, bad. Okay, well, cheers to that then. We all have that story. Welcome to the club.
That's it. But I never really got to the bottom of the whole MAC thing.
Mac is Scottish, Mick is Irish.
It's that simple.
We changed the Mac to Mick. I'm a Mick. The MAC is Scottish, and we came from Macs. McConnell's, like me, we came from the Macs, the Scottish roots. I got Scottish Viking blood. That's why I'm blonde and you know, look at me. And tell, right? And my mom had Spanish blood. And like I said before, many times, the people love this story. The Vikings came down, they shagged the Irish on the East Coast, and we looked like this. And the Spaniards came up the West Coast and shagged the Irish on the West Coast, and they ended up like my mom with brown hair and brown eyes. That's the true story. You know, whatever you hear in the books, that's what really happened. That's what the color. That's why I really have the black Irish, right? My mom's black Irish. I'm blonde Irish. You know.
But that's the thing, like, because you often hear that even in song titles. I mean, John Lydon talks about too, the whole Black Irish thing. I don't think that many people really understand about it. Would you like to enlighten us?
You got the black genes. Comes up from the south. Yeah, absolutely. Ireland's a mixed race. Yeah, we're mixed. We got the white blood and the black blood. We got both sides. The West Coast has got the from the Spaniards and the Africans coming up the coast that side, and the East Coast the Vikings came down through England, right? Just logical sense.
Yeah, for sure. That's wild. I love it.
And that's why Ireland, we're so like not racist, and we're like really we love everybody, unlike the Americans, right? When you get it together down there, I haven't toured there, man, in 5 years, and I'm still not having no plans to.
Did you know, I have so many great American friends.
I'll do festivals, but I don't want to be down there while they're fighting each other. It's just not cool.
No, that's it. I mean, there's, it's sad
and stuff, and they're shooting each other. I'm not going to be a part of that stuff. No way, man.
Yeah, man.
Dangerous for me.
You go to
Montreal bands can go down there and tour
because we'll go anywhere.
I'll go to Montreal, or I'll go to Europe. You guys go to America.
Yeah, but
you shot at down the highway, chased by Trump trucks.
That's it.
Chasing them down the highway. The tour buses for Joe Biden. The Trump trucks are chasing them on the highway.
Yeah, they tried to run them off.
I know. It's like, fuck that. I'm not going down there. They're fucking crazy motherfuckers down there, man. Kidding me? It's insane down there. It's like America Gone Wild. It's like if you watch CNN, it's like America Gone Wild now. I can't even watch the news anymore. After the election, I stopped watching American news because it just makes me sad. It makes me really sad now. So I just started watching the Comedy Channel again. Get my head out of the gutter.
I do find it sad because like most of like I love all my American friends and like, you know, American bands that we play with, and it's a sad state right now.
I love my conservative friends. I love conservatives. I love Democrats. I love everybody, even in Canada. You know, I like conservative. I don't care about it. I just don't like the Trump shit.
Yeah.
Shit. You know, I have to draw a line somewhere. You know, and that's where I draw my line. I don't care what your politics is, but I won't support hate. I won't support racism. I won't support homophobia. You know, all that bullshit. You know, sexism, fucking whatever. You know.
Yeah, everything the weak people get mad about, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know, I'm a socialist, right? I always have been, always will be. I'm Joe Strummer's my politician.
Me too, man. He taught me everything I know when I was a kid. I learned my
politics, you know, and that's
for sure. So you go to Europe a lot. You say like that's probably where you play the most, if I understand
80%,
right.
80%. I tour there 3 times a year. I tour here once, if that. And I don't do many gigs in Canada, even if I do, because there's not that many places to play, as you know.
A lot of driving.
It's the most driving in the world. It's the worst tour on the planet. You know that.
I know. I've done it 13 times.
Oh, you're the king. You're the king. We watch you and we go, fuck, he is the king. But mind you, I've done it more than 13 times, so I am the king. I probably at least 30.
I'll give my crown.
I was doing it 3 a year in the 90s, 3 times a year in the 90s. Doing the winter tour too, because you get all the snow gigs in the winter on the.
That's
mountain.
right. You make a lot more money in the winter, but you have to get there.
Yeah, risk your life to get there. I've slid off the highway many times. I stopped winter touring a long time ago for my safety. A lot of my friends got killed or hurt. Like, well, I'm next if I don't stop this shit, so I stopped. I had my spin outs on the highway. I'm sure you did too.
Yeah, that's real shit.
It's scary out west, man. It's scary out there. Northern Ontario, it's fucking scary. I drive it. It's fucking scary.
You just named the two worst points: Northern Ontario, fucking, and the Rockies. I mean, fuck.
Yeah, it's scary. That Revelstoke Pass. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So from now on, I'm just going to fly in and out to like Vancouver or Calgary, or I want to live the rest of my life. Like 30 years in the van. I don't own anything, right?
Well, that's it. When you play in Europe, do you play everywhere in Europe, or do you have like favorite places?
I go far east. I go far into the east, Czech Republic, everything. I played Moscow. I stopped playing Moscow after they beat up the gay kids for the gay rights parade, because my son is gay, as you know, trans. Yeah. So is my nephew, and so is my godson nephew, who's also a drag queen. So, you know, I'd rather be on their side than on the side of the Russian people. So
I got your back, man.
I love my Russian fans, and they're fantastic. And I'll go as soon as that stops. I promise them. But it's not my job to go there and get arrested and you know, argue with Putin. Not going to happen.
No, man. I'm allergic to poison.
He arrests people on the spot. So I'm not going to be the guy to take the risk. I just won't go. Everybody knows I boycotted it, and I still have. I mean, a lot of my friends' bands play there. I think it's kind of shameful, but hey, you know, you got to feed their kids, I suppose.
Well, you know, it's a funny phenomenon.
I'm not going to shame anybody. I'm not that kind of guy. I never speak ill of anybody ever. I get spoken bad of and stabbed in the back all the fucking time, and I never once returned it to anybody because I'm a gentleman, and I believe music is about brotherhood. It's not a competition. If we are together, we all rise together and we create a scene. If we go to war against each other, we kill the scene and people go elsewhere looking for the bands. And there's a lot of that, you know, in Montreal right now, and bad stuff. And there's a lot of that in Toronto. And, you know, we had a bit of it in Kingston in the old days, but, you know, in Kingston, we got together in the 90s, we made a scene and we all got signed. We did. We all got signed.
Well, that's it.
And, you know, that's what happens when we all went to each other's gigs, and no backstabbing, no bad mouthing, none of that asshole shit, rivalry shit. And we all got signed record deals. And I was one of them. And, you know,
see, all the young bands out there should totally
positive, and you support your scene, then we will all start noticing it from other cities and all want to go and be a part of your scene, including the record companies. And that's
absolutely.
The kids need to learn that shit these days, and that'll be in the book. That'll be in the "Don't Be an Asshole" chapter.
You know, that's one. It's this big, right?
Yeah, that's a big one. I did an interview once called "Don't Be an Asshole." It went viral, and everybody loved it. So I'll redo the interview as a chapter. Like you can Google it. It's online.
It's so true what you're talking about scenes. That's one thing I love playing ska in Montreal, because really we have built a scene and everybody else wants to come.
Are you friends in that? I know Montreal is the only ska scene in Canada that I know of, and it's been around since I started. I remember back in the early 90s. And I remember having those guys open for us on Stop Records at Purple Haze.
Yeah.
What's that band called? Stomp Records?
Smashers?
Smashers, yeah. They opened for us at Purple Haze. way back when we just started. And I met them, and I was like, fuck, what a great fucking band. Holy shit, that was awesome. I didn't know much about ska. I knew the English beat and the madness, and not much, you know. I went to school in Kingston. There was no ska in Kingston.
They don't skank in Kingston.
There was nothing, but I loved it. I loved dance. I always loved it. I loved dancing to it. It's really fun.
Yeah, for sure.
I dance to ska and soul. I guess I'm gonna dance.
That's fucking great shit. But the whole point of that, though, is like the whole thing about how, like, you know, we created a scene and all the bands included, and at different periods of times, different bands kind of held things together. But if you keep feeding into it, like you say, the people come.
The bands turn on each other, they separate, and there's no scene anymore, and there's no support, and there's no unity, and so they're not going to get taken on tour by their friends, and you know they'll just get the door will just be closed and the key will be thrown in the lake, you know, and that's not what you want to do, you know.
No, man, you got to make friends in this business.
It's all about friends and connections. All my business connections are my friends. Everyone around. I know promoters all over the world. I can set up a tour for anybody. You know, and they're all my friends. And when I have a musician in my band who treats one of my promoters badly or something like that, one of my touring musicians, he doesn't get another tour. You know, you got to protect your contacts. You don't mess with the business with your fucking ego and your attitude. I just don't hire them again. No one ever gets fired, but you don't get hired again.
That's it.
Right?
But it is a real thing. I mean,
the crew gets put together and we fly around the world. You know, the eight of us or whatever that goes out at a time, or sometimes 6, sometimes 8, whatever. And, you know, if you're a bad apple, we won't invite you next time.
Okay, here's a question about lineups. In your genre of music, what's the ideal instrumentation for your band? You know,
I like to have, I run my band a bit like Mike Ness or Mike Scott from the Waterboys or the guy from Stone Age. It's kind of singer-songwriter band, you know. Mm-hmm. I make all the decisions. The first decade, I didn't do that, and that's where it all got fucked up. So the last 2 decades, I did do that, and it's just the way I like it. And now and because I did that, band became worldwide successful, and we have a sound, right? We didn't have that in the 90s. We were a fucking total mess. Manager's making all the money. I was making $200 a week, and I was paying the manager $6,000 a month, and there was a train wreck. We all hated each other, and it was just a bad time. You know, so I'm trying to fix that time now and bring it back to you guys in a nice way. You know, I made friends up with all the old guys, and we're going to put together some nice packages for everybody. You know, because water under the bridge, we're all best friends. But there was a lot of managers involved. We were all very young at the time, and there was a lot of booze and drugs and things. You know, that make you hate on each other.
So well, that's it.
So that's what we sort of on that. So for the lineup for me, I like to have a great drummer, which I got the best now, Jamie from the UK subs. He's in the Mahones now. Right?
I love him dearly.
Somebody would probably steal him from me because he's so good. He's probably going to end up in Bad Religion or Social D. I know it. Or Rancid. But I'll enjoy the time I have with him. We're booked to make an album in Berlin this summer. So there'll be an album with me and Jamie for sure. Who knows how long it will last, but I treasure any time I get to spend with him. He's my brother, and I just love him. He calls me Bruv. BR. Love you, bruv. Hey, bruv.
Yeah, man.
I love him. So that's going to be a nice thing to do. I like a bass and guitar, and I like an accordion, and then I like a tin whistle. That's my favorite. And then I like a mandolin and some banjo and some fiddle if I can afford it.
Yeah. Well, that's it, because there's the ideal, but then you have to.
It's all on the budget, bro. You know, if I'm not getting paid much on the tour, I can't afford the big band. But the dream band would be 8-piece. Okay. Can you want to hear my dream band first?
Yes, please. That's what I'm talking about.
Drums, bass, guitar, right? Just the basic band. Then I'd have accordion, tin whistle, fiddle, mandolin, banjo. I'd have 5 trad guys if I could afford that. Usually I can afford 2.
Hey, 2 out of 5 ain't bad.
I usually go for the whistle and the accordion. Okay. You know, that's what accordion is my number 1 favorite. I love accordions. And the accordion player I have now, Nicole Kaiser from Germany, is the best I've ever had. And I just love her to pieces. Oh my God. She's classically trained. She started when she was 5, just like I knew she would. So I went looking to Germany for an accordion player. And she's a little punk rocker like us. You know, and
Perfect.
She's the funnest, most friendliest person. Not saying anything bad about Katie Kaboom, because I love Katie Kaboom too. She was a great 10 years in the band, and she definitely was there to take us to the next level.
Absolutely.
But I love Nikki. Like, I actually love her. She's great. Fantastic. Love her. So,
that'll translate in the music as well, right?
I can't wait to see her again, you know, Nikki. And And then that's it. So usually a 5-piece, and if I could swell it up to 8 with the budget, I will.
Yeah.
If you pay, okay, here's to all your promoters out there. If you pay the proper fee, you get the fucking deluxe lineup of the 8 of the best Mahones. That's the
And
one.
if you don't pay, you get the Squire, not the Strategy,
You get the Squire
not the
version,
Fender.
the Squire version, the 5-piece version. Yeah. And if you're really, really cheap, you get the Japanese, or not even that, the Korean 4-piece version. Made in Korea.
That's it, right?
And if you got no money, you get just me.
You play.
I can bring the band out in any format you like. Put it that way, because I am the guy. I sing all the songs and I wrote them all. So you can have it just me, or you can have it up to the 8-piece Pogues super deluxe special version. And
that's a real thing, though. I mean, being able to do that, because
the 8-piece is my favorite. And if I just did festivals and stopped doing the clubs, I could afford to do the 8-piece shows. But it's the clubs that suck all the life out of touring, like the expenses for getting town to town. Like you're a band leader like me, so you got to pay for the flights, you got to pay the booking agent, you got to pay for the rental vans, you got to pay for the gas, you got to pay for the hotels, you got to pay for the food. Like it's like the list of expenses. You got to buy the merch, you got to buy the fucking
you need upfront money for sure before the tour.
I always tell everybody it costs 10 grand to start. It's a 10 grand start off. If you want to do a tour in Europe, you need 10 grand.
Yeah, and hopefully you get to finish the tour. That's what happened to us.
It's going to cost you 10 grand. So make sure you want to make over 10 grand, but it's going to cost you.
Yeah, man.
It's going to cost you. That's what my budget all the time. And that's a small fucking budget. Can you imagine Stone Age or Social D? Like their budget's not 10 grand. Their budget's like 500 grand. So, I know how to do it for 10 is what I'm saying, and I have
absolutely.
And I come up with the money every time myself. I'm always the financer. And if I had to borrow it, I borrowed money from my family over the years. I always had, my mother or my sister has always helped me out, right? Family.
Family.
They always had my back. My mom.
Fuck yeah, man.
Always. I thanked my sister on the last album, actually.
Well, I mean, like the sacrifices everybody around you make, right? Because I mean, going on tour, it's rough on the people that love you as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Unless your girlfriend's in the band.
That's it. That's a whole other thing.
That's a smart way to do
it. For some.
Yeah, I know. I always do.
That's freaking awesome.
For your last 30 years, bro.
Right.
Your girlfriend in the band. Then
you're that's why there's so many, like how many bands like where one partner is managing the other, whether it's the guy or the girl.
Here's the thing about your partner, your wife, your husband, your girlfriend, whoever, you're with, you trust them.
Well, that's it. And you don't trust everybody in this business.
It's not going to screw you up the ass,
Fuck.
Unwanted. Like you want to be fucking looked after, and that is the one person that will look at over top of a manager, anybody, your mom, your family, your partner.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, you play mandolin as well, right?
My kid works with me now. My kid works with me. I wouldn't be here,
Kevin,
on your show if it wasn't for my kid.
That's right.
In my history, in my 56 years of life, this is my first fucking Zoom call. So
that's so funny. We were supposed to do this episode last week, but we couldn't figure it out. So Kevin came and saved the day. Thank you.
No, I missed a few. I missed CKWS television with Bill Velitzka from Much Music, and I missed you. And there's those laughs. Like, well, what am I supposed to do? I thought, isn't it not FaceTime? Yeah. Hey, don't forget, when I went to school, they didn't have computers. I missed all that shit, bro.
We used to have a typing class with typewriters.
I got A in typing. And I'm really glad I took that because it came really handy with the laptop.
Absolutely.
I'm really glad I took typing. I only took it for an easy credit back in the day, but fuck, did it come in handy, man.
It's so true. I still think about it sometimes when I'm typing.
Yeah, I can still remember to type. Yeah, that's great. So I don't have to do the one finger thing like my dad does,
Right. Now you play guitar. You play mandolin as well. Is that right?
I play everything, bro. I play guitar, bass, drums, mandolin, keyboards, ukulele, fucking percussion, anything you give me, I play it. Yeah, piano. I play every instrument, and on most of the albums, I'm playing a lot of the instruments, and people don't know what I'm playing. I'm like Billy Corgan from Smashing Pumpkins. They just don't tell you what I'm doing. But I'm all over everywhere. I'm playing like all kinds of instruments.
That's so cool.
It'll say the normal musicians on the credits, but I'm playing a lot of the bass. I'm playing a lot of the keyboards. I'm playing a lot of the mandolin. Like I do a lot of stuff. But it's my band, right?
Well, that and when you're working. You don't want to stop.
They don't live here. They live in different cities and different countries. My band lives in Europe, England, in America, in Canada. So I'm the only guy in the fucking studio. You can do the math. But but you know what? They play live and they do play on a lot of the studio stuff. Like
right, it's a real thing.
Sean Ryan played the bass on the entire 25 years of Irish Punk. That's Sean. That's not me.
Oh, wicked.
He played that one because I wanted him to play it on that one because he was touring and stuff. So I said, well, you play the bass on it in the studio because, leave your mark. Right?
Yeah, man. And he did.
He did it. He did a great job too. And then Gina from LA. She played on the Unplugged album. That's her on the fiddle. I usually have Jonathan from Montreal. He's been doing my records for forever, for the last 20. Johnny and I have been working together since the beginning for 30 years. He's my favorite. Jonathan Mormon from Montreal is the best fiddler in the world, I would say. But you can't get him on tour. He's expensive and he's hard to get. He's busy. He's got kids,
Well, that's it, eh?
He's got his band of peelers and stuff like that. He's happy.
Mm-hmm.
If I could ever get him on tour, I'd love to have him back. I had him in the early days, funny enough, when we were like sleeping on people's floors and getting no money and shit. So he did all this shit tours. And now that we're staying in the Radisson hotels and stuff, he doesn't want to come here. So one day we'll play together, me and Johnny get. But he plays on my records all the time. But like
he's a great guy too.
He's the best guy ever. He's got some young kids. So the touring life's not for Johnny. I get it.
And it's not for everybody. I mean, the sacrifices that go into it are incredible.
And you gotta be prepared to live the life of a poor artist. Because all the money you make goes back into the project. And remember, my mother used to always say to me, "How come you're always broke, son?" I said, "I'm not broke, Mom. I own everything here. I put all the money into the project, and I can go anywhere around the world whenever I want to. I always generate money. There's no golden egg anywhere, right?"
Well, you're investing.
Well, exactly. Well, but now that I'm going to do work on these movies and retro projects, hopefully I'll find a golden egg in there somewhere, and get my into some books and movies and things like that, because that's where the money is. It's not really.
Well, that's it.
Sadly enough. But I'm a musician for life. I'll play till I'm 75. Live
well,
for sure.
That's something I talked to.
Mahones will go to 50 years like the Dubliners, and then I'll shut her down at 50. And I'll go drink Guinness in the country with the cows.
Hey, I'll join you for that, man.
Yeah, see the crazy guy over there with the big white beard. He said he was in a band. I have no fucking idea who I am. This is a Guinness guy. Some crazy guy with Guinness. Get out of my lawn, you fuckers.
Naked in the field chasing the cows. I got it.
I won't be naked. I don't think so. I was never really a nudist.
No.
Only for my special lady. That's it.
That's it. Shit.
I do look really hot naked.
Oh, to everybody out there, Finny looks hot naked from what I understand.
Dude, I'm in excellent condition. Look at me.
Oh. Woo! So it's gonna be one of those days. Oh shit, man! All right.
56. I'm in excellent shape. I got 50 pounds a couple years ago.
Well, people don't realize when you tour and play every night, you're doing exercise.
And then I lost another 140 when I got divorced. The ex-wife. No, we're best friends. The beautiful first wife. Her and I are best friends. She likes that joke too.
Yeah, favorite ex-wives. Eh?
We broke up as best friends.
That's beautiful.
What we did is we landed the balloon softly. We have a kid and stuff like that, so everything's really nice. It's not, it's really important to keep the family together and be best friends.
For sure, absolutely, it's so important.
Katie Kaboom was a big star in the band. She's a legend. She's a fucking Irish punk legend. Let's face it.
Absolutely,
she'll be remembered forever in Irish punk.
So you're doing most of your recording at home now in your own studio now, right?
No, my studio guy won't let me do it. I have all the gear here, but he won't set it up for me because he's afraid if he does that, I won't come into the recording studio. I'm not lying to you. He's
probably right.
I know he is. I got all this nice gear. Roland gave me all this free gear. I'm in my office now, so I got like a mixing board here, and I got a fucking digital tape recording machines, and I got all the gear, keyboards, and guitars, and speakers and shit. And he won't put it together for me. Gene, if you hear me, Gene, you fucking bastard, he won't build my home studio for me because he thinks I won't come down to the recording studio because I'm always there. Listen, if I have no money, he lets me run a tab, and so I'm always working, because I always pay my bills, right? So
Yeah, Lannisters always pay their debts, right?
Yeah, I have good. Well, when you're in the business 30 years, you got to have good credit, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't last. You don't last 1 year if you don't have good credit.
Well, that's it. And you always need, like you were saying, put 10 grand before a tour.
Tell the kids that too. That'll be in the book too. Pay your bills, kids, because if you don't, you'll be out of business in no time.
That's it.
Nobody will return your calls anymore. Yeah.
That, and when you walk into a venue, the first thing you do is make friends with the bouncers so he doesn't kick you out later. Yeah. And make friends with the sound man because you want him on your side.
Oh, did I tell you a funny bouncer story? When I was in London,
hit me.
In the 80s, used to hang at a place in Soho called the WAG Club. It's a place where David Bowie shot his Blue Jean video. Really cool alternative bar, like the Bovine in Toronto, for example, or something like that. Love it. Well, a cool kind of place that we'd go to. A black bar full of black paint and black decor, and everything's dark, So,
including the liquor.
Yeah, so it would open it wouldn't even open till 1 a.m. and go till 6. I used to love the place. So I go there. One day I met this beautiful woman, and I'm acting like a fucking rock star. I wasn't a rock star, but I'm acting like one. I knew I would be one day. So,
practicing.
You got to believe you're one if you're going to be one. You got to absorb you got to believe that you're going to be in a band. If you're going to be in a band, believe it. Self belief is the most important thing. So I'm smoking this spliff with this girl, and I get tapped and trying to be cool. I'm in a band. I'm in the studio right now, making a record. I was doing that stuff, but I was a nobody. I was trying to sound cool with my big fucking Camberwell carrot joint, And they get a tap on the shoulder. Look around, it's the doorman, Winston, big, huge fella, And he liked me, He looked like Muhammad Ali, big fucking guy, He just goes this to me. Come here this way. So I come up towards him. He takes the joint from me. He goes, Fanny, you got to go, bro. I'm like, what? He goes, 1 year. I'm like, no! Banned for 1 year.
Man, but that's why you got to make really good friends with bouncers.
I came back a year later and let me in.
there you go. Check this out. I remember it
was like 1 year.
This going back like over 10 years ago.
I was a dick, though. I shouldn't have sparked up in the club.
Dude, I always admit when I'm a dick.
Yeah, I was a dick. I deserved it. So I got a 1 year ban from my fucking favorite club. But he let me back in after that. We laughed when he let me back in because I did serve my year in jail. In marijuana jail.
Over about 10 years ago.
At least he didn't get mad at me and get me arrested or nothing. Because this is back when it was probably illegal, right? So
yeah, exactly. Because I remember, check this out about being friends with the bouncers and stuff.
Just give me a 1 year ban, but it was rest.
He went out doing that shit. I went in.
57, fucking year older than me. Holy fuck. Freaks me out.
That's crazy. Okay, Finny, to end this up, what I ask all my guests these days, I want you to name me 3 albums that everybody should listen to at least once in their life, and then 1 guilty pleasure song that everybody would be surprised that you groove to.
What kind of music?
Any kind. Anything you think everybody should hear once in their life. 3 albums.
Like, am I trying to educate them right now? Educate them?
You're sharing music.
Okay, they need to hear London Calling then. If I'm going to educate you, if you want to be in a punk band and you want to get your brain outside of just punk and expand your musical horizons, you need to hear London Calling. You got it right there, don't you? Probably.
Well, that's Joe Strummer. They're painted by Danny Rebel.
That album is not only punk; it's got rockabilly in it. It's got ska. It's got they opened the doors to people's minds with that album. The first 2 albums are great, but they're pure punk. The third one is the one that you need to own. So number 1, I'd say London Calling. For Irish music, I should, since I'm the singer of the Mahones, I should probably give you. I won't say my band. I won't be an asshole. I'll say the Pogues, Rum Sodomy the Lash, or If I Shall Fall from Grace of God. Either of those 2. You need to hear one of those 2. Absolutely. And then if you want to be a genius concept album writer, and go into the classical ends of things, which I've done with not calling myself a genius. I've done with, let me get that out right now for somebody kicks my ass. There's backstabbers everywhere, bro. I'm not saying me, I'm saying Pete Townsend here. I did Hunger to Fight, I was copying Pete Townsend. I'd say Tommy or Quadrophenia to show you.
So the Who, the Clash, and the Pogues. That's pretty fucking solid, man.
Okay. Well, that's my recipe, right? That's my recipe, right? You know me.
Absolutely. It's a nice stew.
Number 4 and 5 would have been a Husker doing the Replacements, but I got to give you my top 3. So
Yeah, man. What's cool. And something that anybody would be surprised. You know, you're driving down the road. Nobody's in the vehicle with you. This tune comes on and you're grooving to it. Guilty pleasure. One song.
Oh, you bastard. I got a feeling tonight's going to be a good night. That tonight's going to be a good night. I'm going to party on the dance floor. I fucking love that fucking song. Holy fuck. That song, I would push people out of the way for the dance floor. I would push people to the ground. I'd see where all the pretty girls are, and I'll head over there and I'll dance around with the ladies and fucking have a great time. Because I love dancing with the ladies. That's my favorite thing in life. Dancing on the dance floor with the ladies.
Fantastic sport.
And the men too. I love dancing gay bars. They're the best because you get, like, especially gay bars that are straight. There's a bar called El Convento Rico in Toronto. It's gay and straight people mixed. And
that's cool. Do you get a lot of free drinks?
I don't get any.
Oh, boo.
I'm too ugly. I'm a red-haired Irish guy. Yeah. I always bring a girl too, you know, because the girls love it there, you know. So I don't go alone. I bring a girl with me to go dancing, but it's a mixed club of gay, straight, and drag queens. And oh my God, talk about a fun party. Because everybody's inhibitions are left at the door, and we're all just one. And
I love it.
It's not a gay bar. It's not a straight bar. It's a universal everybody's bar.
An open bar. I love it.
That's what all bars should be, man. Like, you know, a lot of, you know, unfortunately for the gay people in the LGBTQ community, it's dangerous for them to go to certain places. And that's really fucking sad. You know?
Absolutely, man.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So I love dancing with them, and you know, they do throw the best parties.
I'll drink to that. My brother, it's great seeing your face. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight.
So to the LGBTQ, all my friends, to my girlfriend in Europe, everybody else, love you all. I'll see you all soon.
See you all on the road.
See you in Montreal. I got no clue what's going on with the COVID thing. But hopefully,
well, when you book an acoustic tour, let me know if you need an opener. I'm ready to go. Just fucking pack a bag with an acoustic, man.
Can you drive a van?
I can drive anything.
Then you're hired. Okay.
Love you, brother. Stay cool, man.
Say hi to everybody. Big love to Montreal. Love you, Montreal. Most beautiful girls in Canada. I always remember that. Montreal.
Yeah.
Ladies,
peace out.
Tell the boys, you ugly bastards, we're better looking in Toronto than you guys.
I'll be there soon enough, brother.
Happy Patties. Peace out. Love you, man.
Peace.
Cheers. How do we get off this thing?
Boom! Came and don't know shit.
I might not know shit, but